Hey, y'all, welcome to the Career and Technical Education Podcast. I'm Brandon Grace.
And I'm Randall Hust.
And we have a very special guest with us today via Zoom. It's our first virtual person. And we have Miss Diana Ferguson. How are you doing today, Diana?
I'm great. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, we're glad you can be here with us. So tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of what you do.
Oh, okay. Well, I am a retired teacher. I taught cosmetology for 28 years in Killeen ISD. I did a job that I absolutely loved doing because I guess you could say I was born and bred CTE. So I've been in it for a long time, since I was 17 years old, or 15 years old, actually. And so I teach, and then I retired from there. So now I'm the executive director for the Texas Industrial Vocational Association that I was a member of for many, many, many years. And I just work with teachers across the state that teach career and technology education and help them to get their professional development and get their certifications so they can take it on to their teachers and take it on to their students and move on from there so their students can be successful in society.
Awesome. So before you became the TIVA director, you were a teacher in Killeen as a cosmetology instructor. So how has cosmetology, or just really CTE in general, changed since you got out of the classroom, do you think?
Oh, it's changed tremendously. A lot of the rules that have come down on teachers and the expectations are a lot different than they used to be. I will say that when I retired at the right moment. I think teachers are having it. It's tougher now for teachers to do what they need to do and to give their students the attention that they need with all the other stuff that they have to do. So that's where we come in as TIVA to help them kind of figure out and navigate that type of the situations that they have to work with today. It's changed so much. Student behaviors changed a lot since I was in school, since I taught school. We could get away with a lot more as a teacher back then. I could say some things back then I can't say now.
That's right.
So one thing is that we have with the Texas legislature and being a part of a teacher organization, being a part of those organizations is important because it helps protect jobs of the teachers and of the staff of schools and stuff, because we have a voice that we're able to talk to legislatures and make sure that we are able to have our voice heard on the Hill. So what has TIVA done in we'll say in the past year or two to help teachers protections basically?
Well, right now in the last year it's been a tough year for politics is a big deal in education. I mean, it's bigger than I could have ever imagined. And as a teacher, I didn't realize what goes on behind the scenes for education until I became the ED for this organization, and how much they depend on us to give them our opinions, or to tell them what we think, or put out the vote for different bills that are going through. I think that the past year with CTE school funding, public school funding, has been a tremendous battle, and I don't think it's over yet. I think the battle is still on. I believe that the governor will probably call his team back for another special session if he hadn't already. And they're going to discuss vouchers because he's determined to get that passed. Which, I've got an opinion on that, but everybody has an opinion on that. But as a public education advocate, I'm not for that. And I think we're going to be fighting that battle the rest of this year, I believe.
Very true. Outside of the legal support, what other ways does TIVA, what's the advantage? If I'm a teacher coming in, what's the advantage of getting connected with a teacher organization?
I would say the greatest advantage of being a member of an organization, of a teacher association, whether it is our association or another association. There's several different ones out there for CTE teachers. There's several different ones for public education teachers. There's all types. Is the networking across the state with the teachers that teach maybe the same thing you do, or they teach close to the same thing you do, or they're in education in general. And education, I mean, there's questions that can be answered by another person that's a member. So getting that information out to members so that they could talk to everybody and network with everybody is one of the greatest things I think about being a member, because it's like a family. It's like, you can talk to your brothers and your sisters or whatever about different things. So these are your brothers and sisters in CTE education. And I just feel like that's a big benefit of being a member of an association.
That's awesome. I came into education, as you know, from the industry. And so I was one of those crazy new teachers that went through the Alt Cert program, which at the time was kind of unique. And now it's like more than half the hires in the district are Alt Cert or adjunct. So within, I guess I'd been employed for a week before I went to my first TIVA conference. And the coolest thing about that was I didn't even know how to spell teacher yet, right? And I got to meet guys that were doing construction all over the state. And so, funny story, my first day, my first real official day of school, I went home and I told my wife, this was a mistake. I don't know what we were thinking, but yeah, no, this is not going to work. And she was like, no, like you got this, you'll be fine. And so I emailed all those guys that I'd met at TIVA, and they just started like pouring in not just resources and stuff like that, but words of encouragement too. Like, hey man, don't worry about it. You got this. It's fine. And so, like you said, when you said family, that really resounded with me too, because those were the guys that were like, nah, we're good. Come on, let's just go do this. And I've gotten to see that over the years now with, even being able to be a part of that with new guys coming in, but then even seeing, some of our teachers, like in our plumbing and electrical program, that have stepped up and put their arm around new electrical teachers and new plumbing teachers in the same manner. And so getting to see that tight-knit family is pretty cool.
Absolutely. I think that, my story resonates with your story, Randall, because I came out of industry too and went straight into teaching. I didn't even have a clue. I knew what my teacher did as the teacher, but I took her position when she retired. But I still came out of industry. I didn't know what happened in the background. And I stepped into that job in a 30-day period, and I didn't have any clue what was happening. And I went to my first TIVA conference that summer before they even hired me. They hired me while I was at the TIVA conference, actually. And that was interesting to be with all those cosmetology instructors. And there was a bunch of them back then. A bunch of them. But I got to know a lot of people. And even people that didn't teach cosmetology. I learned a lot from Ruthie Nooper, which she was teaching audiovisual back then, I believe. And she was new. She wasn't new, but she was in the teaching. She was young, but I've learned so much from her. And she didn't even teach cosmetology. It's not about the trade itself. It's about education and how you portray your education. How do you bring that forward? How do you teach? What do you teach? What do you say as a teacher coming from industry, a person that doesn't know anything squat about teaching?
Right.
And it helps. It helps a lot.
Yeah. And so, like, my whole deal, like, whenever I joined, I was, classically trained teacher. I didn't come out of industry. I went through Lubbock Christian University, and I ended up going to TIVA conference because Mike Garrett, automotive instructor here at the ATC, he was like, and Jerry Mitchell, they were like, hey, we need to go, you need to go to this conference because it's going to help you out a lot. And I'm like, okay, I go there, and, I feel a little awkward. I think we were either in Austin or we were in San Antonio. I don't remember. And then I started, kind of getting involved with teachers, and that's where I met Dr. Bart Taylor. And he's the one that actually really helped me get through, because he was an IT teacher down in College Station, and he really helped me. He really helped me get through a lot of stuff that I was having problems with, like curriculum. I came into a program that literally the curriculum hadn't been updated since I was in school, and I was able to get some great ideas and from there. And then it's just really, like we were talking, the support the ideas and the way that we are able to, with going to our conference, we're able to, support others and, gain support for ourselves. And it kind of reinvigorates you too into, this is why I do things, and everybody's excited. And it's just like family. It's straight up family whenever it comes to, the TIVA conference and all.
And I think anytime you get around, that group of people that are facing the same challenges that you are, Diana, as you said, it's changed. And so, especially guys coming from industry, that first kid that looks at you and says, I don't even know why I'm here. And you're like, well, why are you here? like just leave. But you can't do that in education. And so being able to be with folks that are experiencing the same things you are, the same challenges and the same, victories as well.
Right.
Is really cool. And like you said, it's very encouraging as a new teacher. Now, TIVA also has offered a tremendous amount of support for those new teachers coming in. I know that you guys have partnered with Ruthie and doing some like a new teacher academy at your conferences as well, designed just for those teachers that are coming in like me, that had no training, no background whatsoever, and really just supplementing what the districts are trying to do, what the regions are trying to do, and offering that extra level, which is critical.
Yeah. I think that going to more than just one little new teacher type workshop, going to different ones around the state, like if you're doing region workshops or you're doing something at your school at the district level or local level, and then you do an organizational new teacher workshop, it puts it all together. It brings it all into perspective and just kind of blends it all together. I know that we do the new teacher. We also offer them a lot of legal information that they need to know, because we bring in the attorney to talk to them about do's and don'ts, mostly about don'ts.
There's a lot of those.
and it's almost depressing. I think when they leave, they're probably thinking, why am I teaching?
Right.
But then they still have that in the back of their mind sometimes, look, I have to be really careful about how I do this or how I do that. It's different in the education world than it is in the business world.
Right. And there's a lot more that whenever you come to education and talking about kids and stuff, there's just a lot of, do's and don'ts, as you were saying, and nuances that are different than industry. And being a part of an organization, of a teacher organization, is key to be able to gain that information and to help you grow that knowledge. I mean, the school district does a really good job of it, but whenever you're in those new teacher academy things with the school district, they're talking to a lot of like English teachers and math teachers and all this, and having specific training for your subject area and the gain knowledge about how legalities and things like that is key, because in a lot of school districts around the state don't have the funding or the know-how or even just the personnel, because sometimes their CTE departments aren't that big. Lubbock ISD, we have a huge CTE department, but in Shamrock, Texas, I mean, you're talking a smaller group of people. You have an ag teacher, a welding teacher, and maybe, I don't know, one computer teacher or something like that. And so there's nowhere for them to gain that knowledge. There's nobody to collaborate with. And that's why it being a part of a teacher organization is needed in education.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's huge, because we're, like I said, we're a robust district, but a lot of our teachers are still islands. Like, we only have one construction teacher. We only have one electrical teacher. And so to be able to connect those with folks that are doing the same thing, because like I said, the districts, I think, are doing the best they can, but they're talking to biology teachers, they're talking to English teachers, and we're all in the same room, and half the time you're sitting there going, I don't know if I'm going to do a attention getter at the front of my classroom with little claps or something. Probably not going to work on the job site, but so getting to talk to those people that are in the same role.
Yeah, and that brings me to making sure that if you do go to a teacher conference, you're going to the right conference for you. TIVA handles a lot of the trade industrial, Texas Industrial Vocational Association handles a lot of so you got your construction, your welding, your manufacturing, your cosmetology, audio video production, all these. I mean, I'm missing a bunch, but there's all these other ones. But there's other organizations out there too, and so it's really making sure you're going where you need to go. And TIVA's robust, and they handle a lot. I mean, how many sessions did we have at conference last summer?
225.
It had 225 separate
Wow.
sessions, spread across almost every single pathway in CTE. It's an undertaking, and it's a lot of fun because you can learn a lot. Even from, as an IT teacher, I've learned a lot from the culinary teachers and from the cosmetology teachers, and but it's and that's big. So what does whenever we're talking about the right location and the right place for teachers to go, what does TIVA offer for most of the trade and industrial? I mean, I kind of went over a few of them, but what makes it different than other CTE
It,
conferences?
oh, okay.
Yeah.
The difference in it, okay, it's not a sit and get. It's not a sit and get. It's which a lot of conferences are just sit and get. So you're doing general ed stuff, or you're learning different laws or different rules that have changed over the last year for your area where you teach. But in at TIVA, we are doing hands-on business classroom instruction, just like you're going to be doing instruction in your classroom. So we're giving you that at our TIVA conference to take back. Like, for instance, welding. Welding is a week-long, that welding session is a week-long session.
It's intense.
Sometimes
Yeah.
it's over a week. Like one year they did underwater welding. They went in the water and they would weld in the water. They learned that. And it's a hands-on type certification. Cosmetology is doing haircuts or learning different things and that type. I mean, different facials or all kinds of stuff. They're doing nails or lashes or whatever. Your construction trades they're going out to different job sites maybe, or they're going to different schools and learning about that particular school and what they're teaching in that school. And they're doing like hands-on stuff like masonries they do hands-on. It's hands-on training is what it is, basically. Every pathway has hands-on training of some sort.
Right.
Of some sort.
And so, and that's the thing. It's hands-on, and it's not like, we have a bunch of teachers, that come in and, they like, hey, I get free registration if I teach the class. We have business and industry coming in to the TIVA conference, teaching our teachers what's most up to date in industry, what they're wanting in students, and what they're wanting in new employees coming in. So that way our workforce is ready to go skipping, and we're not learning, how to do math on an abacus. We're learning how to do, using, AutoCAD, and making sure the kids are understanding that this is what you use in industry. And the teachers, this is the most up-to-date stuff. Then they take that down to the students. The students are then ready to go into the workforce. And that's been huge. And but when you're talking about masonry, I tried the masonry. I'm a terrible mason. I mean, you were there.
For sure.
I'm a terrible mason, but it was awesome to learn, and I learned a lot from that. Just how a class is put together, doing a lab session like that. It's just cool.
You hit on the head. We're always trying to strengthen those industry partnerships, and TIVA it just comes right in and helps out with that too, bringing those industry experts, but then even the experts that are really crushing it in the teaching field. Everybody that's leading a class at a conference is there because they're amazing at what they do. And even the masonry, Bud Johnson, who's had, I don't know how many national and international winners, coming and being a part and helping everybody learn that. You can't beat that. Like, you can't just walk out and get that. We're certainly not getting it here in Lubbock, Texas.
No.
And so that's the advantage of being able to bring all those together.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. And so one, where was I going with this? I lost my train of thought. Whenever we were, what you said. So we have the, training for your classes and for, the skilled stuff or the hard skills. We also do, we also work with Skills USA and our CTSO. And tell us a little about what we offer at our conferences for Skills USA members.
Yes, because our Skills USA comes in and does competition updates, new rule updates, or new contest updates. They'll come in and do some things, and then they're also there with their board or their planners or I guess I don't remember what they're called now.
Coordinators. Yeah, we're coordinators.
That's
yeah.
Coordinators.
They keep changing.
They come in. And they bring them in to give them the latest update on their computer training for contests and things like that. So we work together and we're kind of like sister organizations. That's an association, an organization for students, and TIVA is the organization for their teachers. So we work together because students are our number one priority, and the bottom line is student education, no matter what organization you're a part of. And yes, we do support Skills USA.
Yeah, that's the one that mostly fits our organization. Like, there's also THOA, which does HOSA, and you have, and then there's a couple others out there. I can't remember. I'm going blank right now. FCS Stat does FCCLA. You know,
Right.
there's other ones that focus most on those organizations, but TIVA, it Skills USA fits. It fits everything that we do, which is great. And another thing is that, you know, in school, in classes and stuff, we want to promote leadership and, you know, challenging students. And TIVA does that with teachers if they want to get into it. Talk about the leadership opportunities within TIVA organization to grow as a teacher and as a professional that we can also bring down to our students to, you know, show.
Well, yeah, just like TIVA has a board of directors, actually, and TIVA's run by a board of directors of 17 people, and we have 4 officers, and of course, Brandon, you're past president, and Randall, you've been on the board of directors before, but they make the decisions for the whole TIVA organization, and they do that to help advocate for their teachers, for the teachers in their districts. So we have district directors, and then we have so you could be you could run for an office and be a leader that way. You could be a director on the board of directors to lead your district and to be advocate for your particular district, because we have 13 districts across the state that our teachers are members of. And it's the same 13 districts as Skills USA. So it kind of like falls in line with Skills USA. But yes, you can be a leader, and you can, there's a lot of things you could do. You could teach some classes if you want to at conference, if that's something you would like to do and lead. Volunteering to help on your campus as a TIVA representative would be amazing too.
One thing that TIVA, for me, going through college and through high school and stuff, I was pretty shy. I mean, I wasn't really one to want to go put myself out there or try new things. And once I got into the TIVA organization, it grew me as a person, gave me confidence, and it allowed me to try and do new things. Because I never thought I would, run for, president of an organization, of a state organization, or even, be able to teach classes in front of 200 of my closest friends. It's really one of those it gives you that opportunity to try new things, to grow yourself as an educator, as a teacher, as a friend, as a or not as a friend, or as a educator, as a professional, and to really grow in all things that you want to do as a professional. There's all sorts of sounds happening right now. I'm sorry.
We are an active school.
We are very active right now, and so being able to have that opportunity to grow myself as a teacher, as an educator, as a professional has done a lot for me, and it's also done a lot for my classes, because I'm able to actually take what I've done and really put a drive in the students to say, hey, you can do this too. If I can do this, you can do this, right. And it makes it to where it makes it easier to do. It also makes me a better speaker in front of my kids, because I've had to do it in front of thousands of students thousands of teachers over the years, doing state and national conferences. And now I'm able to come into my classroom and do the exact same thing to this group of kids that I've done for educators across the nation. And it's humbling, for one. It's a lot of fun, and but it really drives you to do more. And if you're able to get past some fears and try something new, TIVA, any of these teacher organizations give you that opportunity to do more, and which is really cool.
I think honestly, the best thing that TIVA's done in the last 10 years that I've been here has been to unify with ACTE, which is our national association, and ACTE has been a tremendous help with the national level, state level, different states across the nation that and Brandon, I've seen I'm speaking as I'm older than you, but I've seen you grow. And you've even grown across the nation, and you could stand up in front of people that you don't even know, and there's thousands of them, and and speak to them. So yes, it's been a tremendous leadership opportunity for all of those involved. And ACTE Teacher Awards has been an amazing asset for us as TIVA, because we've had some really big winners, and they've been very involved. And I think it's a great opportunity for teachers to grow.
Speaking of, Miss Diana Ferguson is the Trade and Industrial Lifetime Achievement Award for 2023
Wow.
for
Congratulations.
ACTE, National
awesome.
Lifetime Achievement Award winner out there.
I was very honored, very honored. I was shocked, but I was very honored.
It was awesome. I mean,
That's
I was there.
Yeah, you were
And it
there.
was,
I
yeah.
mean, you were there, but you're also the TNI Teacher of the Year.
Yes,
right.
yeah, it's on my wall now. I had to move some pictures, but it's on my wall
Mine's
now.
right here. I haven't put it on the wall yet, but
Yeah, but we're super proud of you for that, because you've done a lot for education and CTE across the state of Texas, and unifying with, helping us get unified with ACTE and across the nation and stuff. So it's been really great.
Thank you.
Diana, your whole career for the last 10 years has been supporting teachers across Texas in career and technology education. What trends have you seen, and are there things happening across the state? Obviously, we're isolated here in Lubbock. We see what's happening here, but we don't get to see the big picture quite like you do. And so talk about some trends that are happening with CTE across the state of Texas.
Well, some of them, I mean, basically y'all may be isolated out there, but a lot of the things y'all are doing is the same thing other people are doing across the state, because as administration gets changes, but what I'm seeing differently is that now that everything's gone to local level, different districts do different things, as far as laws are concerned, or student population is concerned, or classroom size is concerned, and things like that. What I'm having to deal with mostly is legal questions. Teachers are calling me. I bet we have 20 calls a month about legal questions because of the way things are different across each district.
Right.
And it's hard. I mean, you've got TEA, right? And TEA is going to be, they kind of oversee it, but they also leave a lot of it in the local level's hands to make decisions. And we have a lot of unhappy people sometimes. But I think your rural districts, the little small ones that you have the small groups of teachers, like you said, that just have like one teacher, an ag teacher, and things like that. They're coming around. They need help. They need questions answered. And so I think, the rural population is something that I see different things happening in. I did have lunch the other day with the executive directors of Ag and FCS Stat and CTAT, and honestly, we're all on the same page. Everybody's working for the same reason. They see different trends happening across the administrators or the ag teachers. We have, we all work together for the same reason. And it was a good lunch, and it was a good visit with them. But the trends across the state really don't change from district to district unless it's local decisions that are different.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, with the rural district, that's exactly where TIVA can help out, is connecting folks together. Because they may not have the resources that we have here in Lubbock, or maybe they have more, right? You
never know.
Financially, sometimes they're better off than we are. But
True.
putting on a class with 3 kids as opposed to 10 sections of 30 kids.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah. It's and in us, we can learn from, like, the small districts can learn from the big districts just as much as the big districts can learn from the small districts. Mm-hmm. And because sometimes we think too broad, we think too big, and but being able to network, collaborate, and learn from one another is what's going to grow CTE and keep it strong across the state. Sure. So speaking of collaborating and growing across the state, tell us a little bit about TIVA conference this summer.
TIVA conference this summer is going to be in Fort Worth. Again, we were in Fort Worth last summer. We are also doing it in conjunction with the administrators, CTAT, which is the counselors and administrators, they're going to be doing their conference at the convention center, and ours is going to be in the hotel per se. But we are going to share the vendor hall, so our teachers will be able to go over to the convention center and go through the vendor hall, and it's going to be a lot of it. It'll be big. It's going to be a pretty big deal. We've invited our administrators over to come and look and just sit in on some classes without even, they can just come in and sit in on classes, see what we're doing for their teachers, so they can understand what the teachers are getting and learning. They're just not coming there to have a good time. Yes, we work hard and we play hard, but we work hard first. And we socialize a lot because we all like to be together. But yeah, it'll be in conjunction with CTAT, and the agenda is up on the website already. It's started on the website. Registration is up, I believe, and the hotel link should be on there. I can tell you this, if you want a hotel room there, anybody who's listening, if you're going to be at conference, go ahead and book your room now, because Major League Baseball is going to be there too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's during the All-Star break.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Which is kind of exciting because I'm going to try and
it is
an All-Star game.
Yeah. That'll be cool.
Yeah, it's really kind of cool. And we're also sharing the opening session.
Yes,
so it's going to be a really big,
Oh,
cool opening session. I'm not sure. We don't know who the
I don't know who the speaker is yet. They've hired somebody. They haven't let me know exactly who that is yet. I need, once she gives me all the information, then I will put it out there on the website and send out some postcard, reminder postcards and things like that. So we know we can get some advertising going on, and get that out to everybody so they know what's happening.
Right. And if you have any other questions, you can always reach out to Diana. And the website is tiva.org is where you would go to find all that information. And we will also be at the CTAT Midwinter Conference to promote summer conference for everybody involved. And it's really, this is a cool collaboration that I think is going to be pretty neat. And it's something that has potential in the future, possibly. It just depends on how the summer goes.
For sure.
And CTAT's been awesome. Robin over at CTAT's been more than accommodating and helping us out, and us helping her out with a lot of stuff. And Diana, and I mean, y'all have a long working relationship, so it's cool to actually finally get together and be able to put together a conference that that'll benefit CTE across the state. It's gonna be
interesting. It's gonna be different for TIVA. I think it's gonna be great. We're gonna do our best to make it a great conference for all involved.
Yes. Anything else you want to add? You want to tell anybody?
No, I don't think so.
All right.
Diana, thank you so much for giving up your time today. I hope that everybody can see the value of those teacher organizations, because they're so critical, and I appreciate the work that you've done, and kind of been a mentor to me too as I was going through working with TIVA as well. And
well, you guys are awesome. I'm glad you're doing this. I think it's a great idea. And when Brandon told me about it, I was just like, this is awesome what you two are sitting down and doing, and hopefully it'll grow and become nationwide. And I think it will. I think you just start inviting people.
We're hoping so. We're getting more and more viewers and listeners, and we'll just keep going. And we're doing it because we want to. And anybody that wants to see it has the opportunity to. And as long as we can keep getting great guests and keep pulling out great information, it's just going to grow. And and we've been very wide on variety of stuff, and we're hoping to continue. And once a week, I mean, it's not hard. I mean, it's hard sometimes. So it's like, okay, when can we do it this week? Yeah. But it's been really matching schedules has been a challenge, especially right close to the holidays. But we're making it happen, and we're excited, and we do thank you for coming on, Diana, and going through.
Well, thank you for having me. Yeah. I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks.